Take me where the wind's blowing wild. Show me a land in the clear morning light. Let me see with the eyes of a child.
To a child, the world is new and strange. Today's child faces a world where there is more to learn than ever before. An age made complex by technology. An age where the uneducated are unable to contribute to themselves or society. Frequent school failures are a serious malfunction of our educational system, which we cannot tolerate. America is a big country. Our resources are vast. Our land fertile. The most fertile soil of all is the minds of our people. From the people comes the creative energy of our country, but like the land itself, people require care and cultivation. There are at least 16 million children in America for whom the traditional educational system is inadequate, does not meet their needs, fails them. These children are perhaps the nation's greatest untapped natural resource. Congress, recognizing this, passed the Elementary and Secondary Education Act in 1965. The first part, or Title I, was designed to counteract educational inequities. Under Title I, local school districts designed programs that meet the special needs of educationally deprived children. Children for whom the regular curriculum has not worked. The problem is not black or not rural or urban, but an American problem with many faces and accents. For example, there are probably 500,000 migrant children. Their parents move in currents across the country, following the crops. They work hard, 10 or 12 hours a day. They are proud, but most are unschooled. Until recently, their children grew up with no skills, condemned to back-breaking labor in the fields. There are many cycles of poverty, new generations trapped by old circumstances. Title I tries to provide new circumstances, new approaches to education, the chance for children to develop to the limit of their capabilities.
If you don't know exactly what to do, then just look up on the bulletin board up there. Who can tell me how we made these prints?
We stick them in paint, a hand and an elbow and a nose.
Try to leave a little bit of space underneath each picture so there's room for the sentences. How did you make them?
We put our foot and our elbow and our nose and our hand.
We feel that children know more than we really give them credit for knowing, that they have gained many experiences, but one of the difficulties that we have with children in school is that they've not been able to express these experiences. We feel that it's much easier for a child to express his ideas in his own words. He understands what he says. And then if we take those words and put it in print, he should be able to read these words much easier than if we presented to him strange vocabulary.
That's the nose that you can smell.
What do you like to smell?
You can smell rabbit, or stuff, or turkey.
What do rabbits smell like? You ever smelled a rabbit? Oh, I thought 5.
Early failures in reading cripple a child for the rest of his school career, and frequently his life. Title I funds have generated numerous programs such as this, programs that evoke some of the best teaching this country has seen.
Where will it go? It's an elbow and you can bend it.
You take this one and feel it.
I think that mine.
See if it makes a sound.
I know
See if
what.
it moves.
I know what it means.
Pair of glasses. What makes you think that?
I like a feel.
What part do you feel?
The glass.
You feel glass. What else do you feel?
Oh,
Many children have trouble forming abstract concepts.
Hey, Jack.
Here, children use feely
Did you find out
bags,
what's in yours?
guessing the contents
Now you let
from
it
the
look through
field.
bag.
This technique helps a child conceptualize and aids in preparing him for reading. Each success builds the joy of learning.
It was a pencil.
A pencil. Edward, what do you think is in yours?
Pen.
Mary, what's in your bag? All right, open it up and see if you're right. Are there going to be glasses in there?
Many times in the classroom, if a general assignment is made and one or two children may be experiencing some difficulty with it and the classroom teacher does not have time to give the extra help he needs, then this is when the child's image is damaged. If he is continually placed in a situation and is not experiencing success. But in the language development program, the program is geared to the needs of the child at his particular level, and this is bound to give him a better self-image.
One persistent problem with children who have trouble in school is that they expect to fail. The purpose of this Title I effort is to give both the older and the younger children a sense of self-worth.
That's Sam Al getting.
The older children exercise their knowledge and feel a sense of success, of the value of learning, and of what they already know. The younger children have models of success to look up to.
Is in the bed with the bank in his hand.
Education in America has traditionally been a local responsibility, with funds channeled through state departments of education. Title I programs continue this tradition. Under Title I, local school districts analyze the educational problems of children from low-income families and formulate programs aimed at solving them. A local school district must demonstrate the comparability of its schools. That is, children in schools with Title I programs must get the same services provided with state and local funds as children in other schools in the same district do. Educationally deprived children still need the supplementary help that Title I was designed to provide.
Eligibility of the 840 pupils that you mentioned.
Between this year and last, the number of eligible children in Evanston for Title I services in grades K through 8 has gone from 694 to 840.
On this one full-time director of a study center.
Since the inception of Title I, the role of parents has been evolving, assuming more and more importance. Now it's required that all Title I programs be formulated by local school districts working with parent councils selected from that district. Parents of Title I children will now have a stronger voice in creating the programs that educate their children.
Making it in school for a full school day.
Do we spell out the qualifications for these special people who are in Title I who do this job?
Yes, but you know, just like regular school teachers, let's face it, you don't get too many of them who come with that kind of sensitivity.
But the acculturation process for these Haitian children is another problem. And there's another area in which they should be serviced, really.
I think there's a cultural problem. I don't like the word problem, but I think we see cultural differences. No, I don't think we ought to say assimilation. That's what has been the problem in black and white. We keep talking about assimilation without taking into consideration there are cultural differences. And that, I think that's the tragedy of our educational system. That we don't. Black children's culture is different from the middle-class white culture. And we keep saying black children ought to be like white middle class. And that does not make any sense without their cultural differences, which is what we're talking about with the Haitian children and the Spanish-speaking children.
More and more, Title I is beginning to learn from Head Start that parent involvement really is extremely important, that you can have all kinds of educational services, but unless you get the cooperation, the involvement of parents, it's not going to work.
Does Jody talk much about school? Quite a bit, yes. Mrs. Moore did this, Mrs. Moore did that, or you have some sort of an animal in the room, and she did some sort of picture, you know. Today she comes home, Mommy, Mrs. Moore says we're going to color a bunny, or something for Easter anyway. And, you know, I've noticed that her speech has improved an awful lot.
So.
It really has.
I think she's,
yeah, she's doing well.
You like it?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
They love to go to the zoo and things like this, so any trips, like, really glad Jody gets to go.
We do plan what we call a Parent Day on March 18th. And we're going to take a trip to Franklin Park to see the floral display, the Easter floral display.
That would be nice.
Yes, the parents wanted to do
really
this
beautiful.
At 10 in the morning, and we're coming back and have a spaghetti lunch.
Good.
Many children suffer from a dulling sameness of their environment, which affects their capacities in school. Learning is based on experience, so the effort is made to broaden that experience.
I kind of feel like some of the important things that children should experience are direct experiences with things that they read about. Let's say they've read about the national parks. And we've tried to take the kids to the park so that they get an idea of what it's really like to, you know, talk to a forest ranger, to feel a giant sequoia, to have an experience of seeing the size of a mountain. You know, to have this direct experience. And from these things we've led into camping trips where the kids have had experiences with sleeping bags, cooking out. My little friend Sharon here, she's been on a camping experience with us, and she's had to cook breakfast for me, and I think it's a real valuable experience. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, huh?
Are they just real tales, true stories, fiction, non-fiction? You use your vocabulary. All right, they're fiction, right. And we use the word folk to mean people. Now, how do the stories get to us? How do they
At the Willow Manor School in Oakland, they've had great success with supplementary reading programs in the afternoon after regular classes.
We're working in an ungraded upper grade reading program. This is proven particularly effective for the youngsters who have a lot of ability.
Okay, for instance, change this one a little bit just to make it a little funnier. There was this monotonous mosquito flying over my head, and it bit me right in the nose. All right, Reginald, make it funnier.
I was sitting in the bedroom one day, and along came a gnat and landed on my nose. Then it bit me between the eyes.
What happened past that? Who can make the story even bigger? Make it tall. Vera.
One day, I was laying up in the bed, and thought a mosquito came and bit me up on the nose. And then, after I got off the bed and went and told my mother came here and tried to kill it.
What did the mosquito do to her mother, Yvonne?
It bit Mother, but then Mother, she called Father. Father, he was all the way overseas. She ran out to the wishing well, and she wished Father would come back. So then, Father, he came back, and he tried to kill the mosquito. He called his grandfather. He came, and he tried to kill it too, but nothing happened.
All right, what's going to happen to the mosquito? We've got to put an ending to our story somehow. Who can end it? Theodore says he can.
Finally, the mosquito flew away, and all of them was happy of that, and they knew they couldn't try to kill the mosquito. The mosquito was too fast for them.
Okay, so ends our story, right?
Yeah.
You might say the mosquito...
The purpose of these tall tales is to liberate the child's imagination, to give him experience with unusual ideas.
Mr. Gator, they just don't know what you're after. You're gonna go across the bridge of time and hide the other side.
Early Push is strictly for 4-year-olds, the pre-kindergarten age. The room is arranged in various centers of interest, and at any time a child may go to whichever center interests him. In this classroom there were 4 adults, a teacher assistant, and 2 parents. The teacher assistant functions as another adult who's available to the children and available to relate to them. Often you'll see 1, 2, or 3 parents in the room, and this again maximizes the ratio of adults to children. We know this is a key, that if the maximum amount and quality interaction between the adult and the child, it results in great achievement for the children. Plus, the parents have an opportunity to know what's going on in school.
Frederick, would you like to add another color to your yellow? Hey, what color would you like to add?
Title I philosophy is that a child's academic success is closely tied to his concept of himself. A positive self-image is basic to language development and communication skills.
These photographs are used in every classroom to help build the child's self-image. And there are a few children that when they first see their photograph, they don't realize that it's a picture of themselves. We also use these photographs at our annual display at the Albright Knox Art Gallery. Each child has a painting or other type of artwork on display, and very close to it, his color photo is there. Arrangements are made for the child and his parents to visit the art gallery.
Title I gave us an opportunity to do many things that we wouldn't be able to do under our existing budgets. We always knew that we needed parents to participate in the schools, and we knew through these programs that we could get them interested.
In Buffalo, visits to the Knox Albright Gallery add another element. The idea was to expose these children to the world of art, to make them feel a part of it, and to enhance their feeling of self-worth.
This is what we're trying to teach them. And a speech book, this is a good idea. You can make a speech book out of things you have around the house.
Educators are quick to point out the primary importance of parents as teachers, especially in the preschool years. This toy library in Buffalo is a Title I project which involves mothers of preschool children. The librarian explains to the mother how certain kinds of toys can aid learning, and how the mother can teach her own child many things before he ever reaches school.
They look out the window, there's always some sort of bus. Wagons they may not see, but these wagons have different colors. We talk about the colors here.
What people are going over to watch the movie. Carla?
In the past, much of the teacher's time was consumed by the routine tasks of the classroom, taking attendance, grading papers, preparing seat work, operating teaching machines. Now, through Title I, many of these tasks are performed by teacher aides. Frequently, these aides are parents who assist the teacher in the classroom. There are now over 100,000 education aides in the Title I program across the country.
Where do you do your shopping? Downtown?
No, we don't go downtown very often. We go to the shopping center. It only takes my dad 10 minutes to get there. It's got just about
Title I
everything.
has been responsible for many innovative programs in education. These programs frequently include the use of teaching machines. No machine, however, can replace a teacher.
Colors, red, yellow, and blue. But by mixing them together, you can make any color in the rainbow.
What is your name, and where do you live?
My name is I live Nervous Boston.
A child whose native tongue is not English has a double handicap. Under Title I, many school districts have chosen English as a second language as their approach to this problem. Here, all teaching is done in English.
Not sort of. My name is
My name is
Iris
Iris
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
I live at
I live
399 Buster. Yeah, that's fine. Throw it to the water. The walk outside is something that we do quite often to acquaint the children with the neighborhood that they live in. We discussed what the sidewalk was, and then we stopped and we looked at some grass and we picked it up, and everybody took some and examined it. And then when we went to Hawaii's house, we looked at the number on the door. We talked about the size of her house. We talked about using the past tense. Was anybody home? Nobody was home. So then we went on to the next house. It gives us a very good chance to get acquainted with the families of the children. If you can call at their house and talk to their mother and father and let them know that they have a nice child, this builds up a good feeling in the community, which so often is lacking. Their consciousness has to be expanded so that they look and they see and they're aware of everything in their environment.
They are learning the English words that describe their own neighborhood. Outside walks like this help the children to think of their world in English.
La mamá les busca el maíz de trigo y le da comida y le presta abrigo. Bajan sus papadas a currucudito hasta otro día, muérmelo pollito.
In Philadelphia, a bilingual approach is being tried. The teaching is done in 2 languages, English and Spanish.
What is a home? What is a home? A home is a place where a family lives. What is a home, Raphael? What is a home, Yolanda?
A home is a place where a family lives.
What is a home, Maria?
In the past, it has been assumed that the best way to learn English is to submerge the children into an English-speaking classroom, and then they either swim or sink. In our experience in this country and in this city, we have found out that most of us sink. So we are saying now that we have to use Spanish, the mother tongue, to establish the type of rapport that will enable him to go through school in a successful manner.
Some disagreement exists about which is the best way to teach non-English speaking children. Title I encourages diversity and local solutions to local problems. Mark Shedd, superintendent of schools in Philadelphia, expresses his ideas about what makes a program work.
The real quality of the engagement between the teacher who works with the child in the school setting, and a real essential element is the degree of involvement on the part of parents. And I think where you have both of these things going, regardless of other aspects or parameters of the program, that you're more than likely to have a good quality educational program that really begins to turn kids on as far as learning is concerned.
Bring me some rocks. You get a turn, Maria. How many are you going to give me? 10. 10? How many for this one by itself? 4. How many for this one? 4. 8. And 2 more is?
Here, mathematics is taught with Cuisenaire rods. These rods are different in color and size, representing the numbers 1 through 10.
I learned so much from using those rods about the structure of mathematics. The rods are something the children can touch, look at, and manipulate. There's an old proverb. It's a Chinese proverb. It describes how we feel about teaching. I hear, I forget. I see, I remember. I do, I understand. So many times you'll find classrooms where children are sitting at desks with their hands folded, listening to a teacher. I hear, I forget. So many times you see children seeing words on the board and hearing at the same time. They remember, but we're not teaching children to have good memories or remember. Hopefully we're teaching children to understand and to direct themselves in learning experiences through the rest of their life. 4 plus 3 makes what, Jackie? What do you think's going to sit on top? 5, she said no. She's still thinking. Maybe there's something here you could do. 6 almost. Aha! So she knows that 4, what do we call purple? 4 plus what do we call like green? Equals. This is a hard one. What is it equal to?
Is what is the picture of Mrs. Jacqueline, the paper?
Our main goal in Title I is to provide a better opportunity for disadvantaged children to learn. In doing this, we must be accountable to parents and the general public. We must show that Title I is working. that the children are learning more than they would without the program. Now, I can't speak for all the school districts in the nation, but here in Oakland, we can show that the program is meeting its goal. Last year, 5 out of 6 grades in Title I schools equaled or exceeded the national average in reading growth. In every instance, they equaled or exceeded similar non-Title I schools. Math results were just as good. Title I students also met or exceeded national norms in mathematics. So you can see, Title I is